Now call to order October 15, 2018 meeting of the New Caney Independent School District Board of Trustees at 6:30 p.m. And this show the quorum is present with Mr. Nixon and Mr. Wooten being absent. Please rise for the invocation to be given by Ms. Whipple and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance. And I will take back to be led by Ms. Harrell.
All right, please stop. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to be here today to serve you. Let our decisions today reflect your glory and be in the best interest of our students. Thank you for our teachers and staff and all they do for our students. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Item 2 on the agenda is our recognitions for tonight. We will start with Mr. Simons from White Oak Middle School.
There's no microphone.
Use this one.
No, it's okay. This room. Okay, so everybody just put me on a word count tonight because I'm waiting. But there are no number of words they're all laughing at me too, to explain the fantastic things that we do for our kids and our teachers in our district. And I really appreciate you guys doing this every month for us. I'd like to call my recognition of my people being recognized tonight to come up to the front. Jesse. All right, first I'd like to recognize Kelly Murphy. Kelly Murphy is on our campus now for her third full year. She is one of those teachers that she just is a teacher beyond her years. She's a go-to for the new teachers and for the experienced teachers. We have something called Spartan Warrior Wednesday where we recognize teachers and students. Spartans rise together, respect, integrity, success, and being educated. And Ms. Murphy was our first teacher to win that t-shirt this year. So thank you so much, Ms. Murphy. We've got Kevin Gomez Hernandez. He's our student athlete of the month. Kevin was one of the first students to get Spartan Warrior Wednesday for Spartans Rising Together. Whenever I put that out there for teachers to nominate, he's one of the first people at the top of the list. Whether it's from the athlete side or from the classroom side, Kevin walks around campus and just exemplifies what it is to be a Spartan Warrior and a Spartan at White Oak Middle School. So thank you so much, Kevin. We've got Reagan Will. Reagan Will, she's our CADE student of the month. Not only is Reagan active in our CADE program, she showed at the East Montgomery County Fair this year. She did make sale, correct? Yes, she made sale. What was it that you raised again? A pig. She's not only active in CADE, but she's also one of our cheerleaders. And again, just a fantastic student all around. Just represents the campus everywhere she goes. We've got Daisy Aguilar. She's our fine arts student of the month. When I asked her teacher, she just said that she was the first person to come to mind from the fine arts side because she is just a fantastic student, always respectful. If she has not gotten Spartan Warrior Wednesday yet, she's on the short list to do so. Jesse Diaz, he's our custodian of the month. Funny story about Jesse is a couple years ago when I first got to White Oak Middle School, I wanted to recognize him, and I did recognize him at the meeting. This year, I left it up to Miss Ward, the head custodian, and Jesse was the first person that she named. Jesse, when I first asked him to come, I actually knew what was going to happen. I called him to the office, said I wanted to recognize him tonight at the meeting. He said, Mr. Simons, what time's it at? I said, it's at 6:30. He said, Mr. Simons, what about work? I need to be here. You know, I said, Jesse, your work is at the board meeting at 6:30 on Monday night. So I'd like to congratulate Jesse as well. So thank you, sir. We've got Juana Chavez who couldn't make it here tonight for our child nutrition. When I asked Ms. Bach, without hesitation, Juana helps out in the kitchen. When she's working the cash register, she interacts with every one of the students. And just, I can't say enough about everybody being recognized tonight because they just help us all rise together and and get us down that path to success at White Oak Middle School. So thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, Melissa. I must have skipped it. My secretary. My secretary's been doing it. My ears are so red. Okay. Miss Lear. See, and now you see why Miss Lear is here tonight, because if she's not taking care of me, it's not going to get done. Miss Lear, we have been we've been short a receptionist up until about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right, Miss Lear? Miss Lear has kept our front office together. She's kept the campus together. She's kept me together for the most part. And she is just an invaluable asset. She came over from special education, and she is just a tremendous, tremendous force for our campus. And I just really, really appreciate her being at our campus. And thank you so much. Okay. All right. I know, right?
I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Holton from New Caney Middle School.
All right, good evening. I've got one student that did not make it here tonight. Her name is Elizabeth Lynn, and she is my fine arts student that's going to be recognized tonight. She's an officer in the National Junior Honor Society, fantastic student leader, and just recently this weekend in symphonic band, she placed first, so she got the top spot, top performing ensemble of our region. Just an incredible student. Next we have Chloe Patton. She's our Kate student. She's a very bright student who always tries her best in school. She's very caring to all those who are around her. Never gives up on task. She has shown extreme growth in and out of the classroom, including in FFA. She's always a hard worker and has excelled in everything she has attempted to do, especially reaching goals that she has set for herself. Miss Chloe is always a joy to talk to and always has a positive attitude and a smile on her face. All right, Kendrick Moscato. He is my student athlete being recognized tonight. Kendrick is also a member of the National Junior Honor Society. He is one of our brightest students. Always has a positive attitude and always willing to help other struggling students. On the field, Kendrick is a privilege to coach. He's such a fine young man. Always gives his maximum effort on the football field and in the classroom. His coaches describe him as being an overcomer even when the odds are stacked against him. I was talking to one of his coaches the other day, and we were trying to decide who to whittle this down to. He brought up Kendrick's name, and I said, absolutely, perfect choice for this award. And he said he's one of the most enjoyable student athletes he's ever coached, and that we'll be seeing him play on Sundays one day. And then my piece of that will be hopefully for the Cowboys. All right, and now,
Please smarter.
no, he loves America's team, I'm sure. All right, to now recognize my teacher, Miss Dickinson. She's an excellent example of a teacher leader. She's always prepared and ready to teach every single day, no matter the circumstance, no matter how cold it is in her classroom, no matter how hot. So she spent several weeks with about 59-degree classroom, but she kept trudging along like a little Eskimo in class, but she stayed with it. She's won multiple Caney ISD Education Foundation grants and continually pushes herself and her students to reach for educational excellence. Ms. Dickinson is a wonderful, innovative, intelligent, and caring person and has truly mastered building engaging lessons, especially in the area of technology. Ms. Uriegas, our paraprofessional, Ms. Urias always has a smile and is eager to help teachers or students in any way possible. She always goes above and beyond whatever is needed of her. Ms. Urias has a good disposition to do and will do whatever is ever asked of her, especially when meeting the needs of our students. Our EL coach said this one thing: she is my better half, and I'm so thankful to God for having her as my partner. Ms. Urias is always a ray of sunshine and always a joy to see, and I tell her almost on a daily basis that one day she'll be a teacher on my campus. So that's what she's working towards, and will be an excellent teacher one day. Ms. Castellan, our child nutrition employee. Ms. Castellan is a great team player and always willing to help out the staff, and she does it with a smile. She's a great person and a great leader. Although you can say this about Miss Debbie's child nutrition employees, Ms. Castellan goes out of her way to brighten the day of everyone around her. And one of the things that I immediately thought of when I had to choose for this position was our open house, and just her pleasant disposition, always happy, always smiling, just willing to make everyone else's day around her better. And that's what you wanted all your employees. And Mr. Cozy, he's our custodian that we're recognizing tonight. He does an outstanding job of making sure everything in our building is in top condition. He's overcome so much in his life, and it's truly a great guy, willing to help anyone out at any time. He is by far the hardest worker on our campus, and will do anything he can to make sure everyone has what they need, even if it's not his responsibility to do so. Very personable. You'll often find him asking other staff members how they are and how their families are doing. So I'm very lucky to have each and every one of these fine folks in my building.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Item 3 on the agenda is open forum, but didn't have anybody sign up. Item 4 on the agenda is closed meeting. The board will now meet in closed meeting under the authority of Texas Government Code Section 551.074 for the purpose of personnel matters, Government Code 551.071 for attorney consultation, and Government Code 551.072 for deliberation regarding purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Any action or result of the closed session discussion will take place after the board reconvenes in open meeting. The time is 6:43. The board ends closed meeting at 7:31 p.m. We will now reconvene in open session. Item 5 on the agenda is reports and proposals of board members. The report on the continuing education report. Each year the board president is required to announce whether or not each board member has met the required continuing education training. I'm pleased to say that all new Caney ISD board members have met and exceeded the required continuing educational requirements for the current school year. Or current year, not current school year. Anybody else have anything? Item 6 on the agenda is superintendent's report.
Dr. Powers, step up. Dr. Powers, you ready?
PowerPoint ready.
Board, I'm going to walk us through a timeline that provides some background related to the development of an innovative academic calendar for the 2019-20 school year. In your materials, there should have a straight timeline. It's sort of an outline of the presentation. I've got some graphics in the presentation for our visual learners in the room. We first started having discussions related to development of an innovative calendar early in the 2017 school year in Cabinet. And had some discussions throughout the year. And then in September, brought those discussions to the board and the board workshop. Some of the items, work with me. Thank you. Some of the items we discussed related to the development of a calendar included adding a couple of 5-day breaks, one in the fall, one in the spring, and more evenly distributing those breaks throughout the year. Starting school a week earlier, maintaining some of the elements of the traditional calendar, our instructional minutes requirement, when the semester's end, graduation by Memorial Day, kids out of school by June. We talked about trying to impact student engagement, attendance, discipline, instructional intensity and focus, and potentially helping create a distinction between New Caney ISD and some others, and perhaps a competitive advantage in recruitment and retention efforts. So those were some of the topics related to this. After the board workshop in September, we brought the principals together. We met several times over the course of a week or so. We wanted to get some feedback from them on this concept. Their response was unanimous in wanting to explore further the concept of developing an innovative calendar. So we met several more times during the course of that week. We also at that time developed a couple sample calendars based on the 1920 school year. One was a traditional sample and one was an innovative sample to sort of get our eyes on what it would look like potentially. We then talked about how to take that message to the rest of the district and get some feedback from staff. So we decided to try to do this all on one day to minimize confusion and misinformation. So we developed a plan for the principals to take it back out to the campuses. Department heads took it to departments, talked about this concept and got feedback as much as we could on that day. I believe you have the results of that. About 93% of our employees were supportive of, again, exploring the process to develop an innovative type calendar for 1920. A couple of things that might have to happen if we were going to continue to move down that road. One is an amendment to the District of Innovation Plan. We made that proposal to the District Leadership Advisory Committee on the 5th. I'm not sure these classes are helping me much. On the 5th, they approved that. There is a 30-day posting period. Of course, any change to the innovation plan would have to be approved by the Board of Trustees. So DLAC has approved that amendment. We've got it posted on the website right now. We are in the process of developing from those samples some viable options for an academic calendar, for an innovative approach to a calendar for 1920. Whether we end up with 2 or 3 options is yet to be determined, but we're working on that. What we would do then is take those options back to DLAC for some discussion and some feedback. They don't necessarily have to vote on that, but it's a good place to get some response. It's a representative group of the district. And then by November 12th of the next board meeting, that 30-day posting period for the District of Innovation Plan will have elapsed, and the board could consider the updated District of Innovation Plan. Right around that time, we hope to have a couple of options finalized, and then typically what we do annually is get a vote from the staff on a calendar A or a calendar B, and we would do that as well here, so that we would have a solid proposal for an academic calendar for 1920. We could then share that information with the public, get some feedback from our parents regarding that, and then, and that's in November, December, and then at December 17th board meeting, have a proposal for the board, there it is, for the board's consideration. Any thoughts, comments, or questions related to that timeline?
What would be the method for getting public comment during this November-December period? Will there be a survey or?
I think we'll use all the platforms we have. I think an example would be when we have zoning changes, we put something together on the web. We use our other platforms to get the message out to parents. We provide a feedback form, and we keep it up there a period of time, make sure everybody was aware of it.
Our DLAC committee is also made up of community members as well as parents. And so that DLAC committee, that District Leadership Advisory Committee, also has built into it an outside component other than just staff also.
I thought there were a lot of parent staff members and maybe only 2. Is there more than just 2 outside community members on the
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We invite about 2 from parents from every campus.
Okay.
So there's quite a few.
Okay.
Per campus. Thank you, sir. Ms. Needham, you have a co-op report?
Yes, sir.
have a copy for each of you to look at, and just pass those around. Several years back in 2012, I came to the board, and those that may have been on here, we created a purchasing co-op and moved away from Harris County Department of Education. And as we have grown, Santa Fe ISD has been our fiduciary district. And with the changes that have occurred down there from the shooting and thing, they've gone through some transitions, and they would like for us to move the co-op to another district. So the steering committee, which I'm a part of, we have always said New Caney would be the backup district. So it has came to that time that we look at taking over the co-op and housing it here. What this would involve is basically from the district standpoint, the co-op would be paying the district $30,000 to compensate employees' time for time spent working on that co-op, which is about 15 to 20 hours per month on an average. So it's not a lot of time. We do have a co-op director that oversees our purchasing co-op, and then we have the steering committee in place to oversee that. So the district is not liable. We are basically our own little entity out there, but we do have to have a fiduciary district to host that. So we're asking that you recognize that. This also gives recognition to the 37 districts that you see New Caney would be representing, those 37 districts. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Needham.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll hear from the instruction department, Ms. Schaffner.
Good evening. Ms. Smith is going to share with you our class size report. Prior to our designation as a district of innovation, each year we file for an exception for any of our kindergarten through fourth grade classes where we had more students than 22. And we don't file for those anymore since we're a district of innovation, but we do, it is our intention to keep our class size as close to 22 to 1 as we can. So each year we share with you those classes that are above 22 to 1, and as you can see, we have 12 classes above 22 to 1. Most of them are at 23, with only one being at 24. And that can change tomorrow, but this is as of this morning. This is the lowest number that we've had since I've been here 4 years. So Ms. Smithson did a really good job of staffing and moving some teachers around for us, and so we're really proud. Any questions about that?
Very good.
Thank you. Dr. Witham?
Good evening. I just want to discuss real briefly our course guides in your packet. I believe you have a copy of it. There's no major changes that we are making this year. A few items to note that you may see is in our middle school. Both of them have to do with our middle schools. Our middle school course guide, that's pertaining to our CTE, where basically we're making our classes be an investigation of the 16 clusters. The clusters such as education, fine arts, business, those, when I'm talking about clusters, that's what we're talking about. And so really, our junior high focus, our middle school focus is going to be about investigative focuses on that, so that the kids know which path to take once they get to the high school. And so that's what we're doing in the middle schools. And then also, we're just changing our wording from pre-AP to honors. In 2 years, the College Board is going to start charging school districts to use the word pre-AP. It's still going to be pre-AP, we're just going to call it honors. So we just don't want to pay any of our money. So we're just going to save some money by doing that. So, all right. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Item 7 on the agenda is the consent calendar. Consists of consideration of minutes, consideration of finance reports, consideration of personnel reports, and consideration of update to local policy FNAB. Is there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the items on the consent calendar? Motion been moved second. All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion's approved. Item 8 on the agenda is consideration of approval of voluntary exit incentive agreement for New Caney ISD. Mr. Freeman.
Yes,
to offer our early exit incentive again this year. That time will be from January the 7th, which is when we come back after the holiday, to March the 8th, right before spring break, at the same time frame. Campuses really look forward to this so that they can get their teachers and staff opportunity to go ahead and resign or retire in order to use that ability to hire individuals early. And so it's been a real good program for us, and we would like to continue that. Questions?
Can you refresh my memory? I know it's been public, my computer died. On the amount that we offer?
We offer the $10,000 for, I think it's up to 10 years, and then $2,000 up to 20, 11 to 20, and then after 21, then it's 5,000.
That 10,000 is out there on the table. Listen, we may have a couple of teachers.
$1,000. Yes.
One extra zero loss. One extra zero loss.
Making sure.
We're hopeful. 1,000.
All right, thank you.
Power's glasses.
That was supposed to have a mass exodus.
There were people shaking in that midsection over there. I don't know where they were.
Some of these folks may hit the door.
Other than that miscalculation, you have any other?
Is there a motion to approve the voluntary exit agreement, exit incentive agreement?
So
Motion been moved, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the motion is approved. At 1,000, not 10,000. Finance department went nuts.
I saw her face, she's like,
I'm dying.
Okay, Item 9 on the agenda has been pulled from the agenda tonight. Item 10 on the agenda is consideration to approve targeted improvement plan for 2018-2019 for the Sortersville Elementary shop.
Okay, Sortersville has been working on their school improvement plan with a school improvement consultant, Dr. Soltis, and with some of their leadership team, of course, Ms. Hunt and Ms. James. And we shared that with you last week with some of the information. There are 3 goals. The first goal is going to be a focus on reading. Second is going to be focused on math. And the third is going to be focused on looking deeper at their curriculum-based assessments and adjusting their instruction because of those results. And so I just wanted to know if any of you have any questions about that. Targeting.
You know, y'all get it done.
Sir.
We're confident.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the targeted improvement plan for 2018-2019 for Sortersville?
So moved.
Motion been moved, second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, the motion is approved. Good luck to you. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 7:47 p.m.